We're rolling.
Welcome back, everyone. Episode 122 of the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast, brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business on or offline, website design, Google Ads, graphic design, printing, we can absolutely help. Check us out at Black Belt Digital Marketing on Instagram or our website, bbdigitalmarketing.com. Request a free review of your online presence today. My name is Milton Campus. I'm a brown belt training out of South Florida. We got Bo behind the camera.
Yo.
And joining us today is, let's call him the move of the day guy, right? The guy that took the baton from Kurt Osiander. Kurt did the moves of the week, right?
Yep.
This is move of the day. We have black belt Yoshi Yamaguchi coming on. All right, so join. Actually, this will be his third visit, right? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and click that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate all of the support. Thank you to everyone who's done that already. A few quick shout-outs. I am running through this quicker, guys, because this is going to be a long one. Thank you to our friends over at Flow & Roll. Hands down, the best custom gi and no-gi gear in the business. Don't believe us. Visit them on Instagram at flow_n_roll. Check out all their custom designs. They're working with academies throughout the country. And don't forget to ask them about their pre-order program. It is amazing. It'll help any gym owner get everything they need for their gym, their gis, their belts, their no-gi kits. Very little money out of pocket. Very little out of pocket.
Upfront.
And a small upfront fee versus having to lay out all that money to keep all the inventory. We'll let him explain, or if you've listened to other episodes, you understand the deal. You get in, get everything you need for a fraction of the price. You still wind up paying for it from your pre-orders. So that's kind of how it works. So check them out at flowandroll.com. Get 20% off with code JJD. Now that 20% off is if you're buying like a gi online or a belt or a t-shirt, right? That's not for for your pre-orders, okay? But flowandroll.com, code JJD. Thank you to our friends over at Neutral Zone Clean. Check them out at Neutral Zone Clean on Instagram and Facebook. Their website is neutralzoneclean.com. And the mission is all about keeping you clean on the mats, training, personal life, in the gym. You got soaps, wipes. You got the spray bottle there, the refills. They've got the new liquid body gels, I'm going to call it, so body gel. So you can check all that stuff out. Keep the yuckies away. I've got wipes in my car. I go get gas. I'm touching that handle. I shake somebody's hand here and there. I always get in the car. No disrespect. It's just in a world of, right? Got to wipe them down. I use it. I wipe my my steering wheel, right? Sometimes I get in the car and I haven't wiped. I wipe my steering wheel. I wipe all the things that I touch. So I actually use this stuff. Check them out at neutralzoneclean.com. Use code JJD to get 20% off. That's for the rest of the month of July. It's normally 15% off. Code JJD will get you 20% off for the rest of July. All right? My new, let's call it favorites. I don't have a favorite. These are like all of our kids. I don't have a favorite, but I do love my Leo optics. Right? Very cool. These are bamboo sunglasses, right? This is a wood frame. Very cool. I love them. They have a whole bunch of different designs. They have aviators. They've just launched a whole bunch of new. Actually, you know what? Let me
instantly, you're 007. You put them on, you're like,
actually, if you go check out the website, they redid the website.
Cool.
But you can see all of the cool new glasses.
Yep.
See, new releases, back in stock. I have these and the ones that I'm wearing now. Got the Jits player. Suavecitos. I think, are these the Suavecitos? I think are these the Suavecitos? I'm not sure. I think these are the Suavecitos. That's version 2 there that you see. Some of the designs you can actually get. Oh, you see you got it on screen here, right? You got the, see the little red? Mm-hmm.
It's like a belt stripe.
The stripe from the black belt. Well, you can get it with different stripes there to represent your belt rank. On some of them, on not all of them.
Nice.
Okay, but again, very cool. Look, a little different here. Look at that.
I like those a lot.
Right? More like an aviator, right? So, really cool. Love working with them. Use code JJD for 10% off of your order.
Nice.
Okay? And we've also got BioPro, our newest sponsor. I am on, I took day 17 today. Look, I'm putting them back in just to see. You don't have to put them back in the box. The little vials, right? You got these little vials here. I already took mine. Oh, man, I just messed up the whole box. I took mine already today, so I'm not going to take one on air. But I'm up to day 17. I've talked to people about what I'm feeling. First, well, it's funny because I want to make sure I don't say it in a nasty way. Libido is through the roof.
I was just going to say.
Libido, right?
I was just going to say, bro.
I mean, like, I'm a walking boner.
Yeah, third leg. I got a third leg going.
Libido is through the roof. No bullshit. I know because I've been trying to, like, figure out what do I do at 50 years old. Libido through the roof. I am honestly down. I normally drink probably 3 to 4 coffees a day.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about the nap thing too. 3 or 4 coffees a day, and I'm always taking a nap.
So they don't work.
Taken the occasional nap, so I'm still taking the occasional nap.
Right.
The brain fog, though, like, you know when you wake up in the morning and you still feel groggy?
Yeah.
I'm not feeling that if I do take a nap when I come out of that. I had to have another cup of coffee. I had to have a coffee.
Yep, me too.
Just like when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, gotta have my coffee. Like, first thing I do is get a coffee. I still have my morning coffee, but I'm not feeling like that for the rest of the day. I have had, like, the second cup of coffee because I'm like, I'm supposed to have my coffee with, like, lunch. So, like, I almost use it as, like, my sweet tooth thing to, to scratch that itch. I'm having that one, but, like, I'm not feeling like I need it. Again, still early. I'm in my first month, but I'm feeling those effects. I don't feel that whole, like, literally, like, weight on the brain. I guess people are calling it brain fog. Yes. Like a wet blanket on the brain, and I'm like, oh, the coffee takes it off. I'm not feeling that anymore, which was one of the things that excited me the most about it, that what I heard from other people. Greg Lappin was one of them. Yeah. So if it's not working, I'm not going to take it. You know, where's my count? If it's not working, I am not going to take it.
But if it works,
I feel like it's working. And look, 50 years old, libido through the roof. I'm happy. We'll leave it there. Get $30 off with code JJD. Now, just I want to explain. Using code JJD, $30 off for orders of $295 or more. Now, why are we throwing in that $295 or more? Their kit would total, I believe it totals a little bit more than that. But they have done like $100 off a kit, a 2-box kit, right? You get 2 of these and $100 off of those 2 kits. So you're not also getting the $30 off. So we've just kind of thrown that in there, right? So your order's got to be over $295 of their regularly priced kits. Hope that makes sense, right? If it's not working, just look. Oh, wow, there's already $100 off this. That's why the code's not kicking in. But check it out. Hit me up. Let me know when you're taking your first shot, and tell me when you're taking that, day 17, 18, like I just talked about. I'd love to hear your feedback. All right. Thank you to the BJJ box as well. Right. They are jiu-jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box. It's delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and a whole lot more. They find the best products in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box is going to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items that you're going to love, so use coupon code JJD10 for $10 off your first order. Okay? We don't have a new unboxing or a box today, but I think we'll have one in the next episode, which is in a couple of weeks. All right? And this is, I think, this is going to be officially like our last episode here, unless we need it as a backup, but we'll be up in the Boca studio. We film on August 8th, so we should have that one out the following week. I think that's a Thursday. We'll have it out the following week. So second week of August will be our first one that everybody can see us in the new facility, in the new studio, which I think is really cool. I'll probably do a couple of just like pictures just to tease it a little bit, because I did get some video and pics of the studio, so it's really cool. So we'll leave it there. Let's get Yoshi in here. Let's do this.
What's up?
Welcome, Yoshi. How you doing, brother?
Dylan, man, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I think we're glad to have you back, first of all. Second of all, I think you are now. You are. Do we have a? We've had like one other guest. I think that's been on 3 times. I think who did we have? I think we had Warriors Next on a couple of times.
Yeah.
Who else? Do we remember?
Steve Williams,
the police officer. Steven's on twice.
Steve was on twice.
We had Freddie Trillo. Freddie Trillo's been on 3 times, I think. So you're up there. So we gotta. So you're tied for the lead.
Yeah. You and Freddie.
So welcome though, brother. How's everything? How you been?
Everything's great, bro. Everything's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still You got the move of the day still going, which is nice to see, right? Very cool.
Yeah, man.
How's that been going? How has it changed your life, Yoshi?
There's definitely one thing that's changed my life is like I didn't realize the reach. Like I thought, it was like Bay Area, a little bit of California.
No way,
like,
man.
Dude,
where are you?
I've been traveling a lot, and I've been going to visit gyms. And I walk in and I'm just like, hey, how's it going? I'm Yoshi, and it's just like, bro, they know my name before I even like start signing the waiver. It's like even in places like Mexico. I was just in it was my brother's 40th birthday. His wife planned a whole trip to Mexico, so we went to Cabo for the weekend. And they have a couple of jiu-jitsu schools down there. So I go down there, and then I walk in and it's like, hey, what's up? And it's like the kids are like, oh, move of the day. They barely speak English. And they're just like, move of the day. And it's just, man, it's pretty coll to just see the reach and have like community, wherever I go, it's always good vibes.
Yeah, man. Once you put something on Instagram, bro, that's worldwide, man. It's worldwide instantly.
Famous now. You're famous.
Yeah.
You're a celebrity.
Yeah, man. You know what's funny?
Pretty weird, huh?
And I don't walk into other gyms and people be like, oh my God, there's Milton. We're not that doesn't happen to me. But what's up, Bo? All right, we're back. We're back from being technical difficulty. So I was saying you were talking about people recognizing you and the reach. And what's kind of cool, like what I like to see is on the podcast, I can see where people are downloading the sound from. Like I can go, so every time I open it, like there's like a nice little map and it shows you 3 people from Indonesia, and X from there, mostly in like North America. So it's always kind of cool to see. It's just like, oh, how fucking badass is that, right?
Yeah.
And then I would say for you, I wonder if you see this like just in your like in the comments, like you'll see like just the way that something's written, or I don't know what that those kind of like the Muslim countries, the Arab. I don't know what that writing is called, but like when you see it like totally different, and you can't even read it. Do you get comments like that? Like, oh, I wonder what he's saying. Do you get it? I haven't
gotten anything like crazy characters, which is funny. So like I started putting hashtag uses, my hashtags. I just took how do you say jiu-jitsu in like Korean characters, Chinese, Japanese. Okay, yeah. So I started implementing that. So I see you get some like you said, like where you're getting views from, like, oh, this was seen here, and you're like in your info. But for the most part, no, everyone's commenting in English, which is helpful for me.
We were Bo and I were talking a little bit. Bo does this thing. I think it's going to blow up for him. He does this thing called Handy Wisdom. He actually puts glasses on his. What's the Instagram? What's the Instagram, Bo?
It's handy_wisdom.
So he's got his hand and it's got glasses and he does kind of just like funny stuff and he comments, and so he's kind of working on it. We were just like talking about ideas before. It's his thing. I was just like, oh, you should do this and you should do this.
That's funny.
I think that it's really something that will blow up for him. I think it's hilarious. And then as I'm thinking about the jiu-jitsu side of things and how that could work into jiu-jitsu with a hand, wrist locks and just him commenting on a hand being hurt, just where that where that could go. But we were talking about, you said you mostly you're getting good comments. I'm like these days I've taken Joe Rogan's approach, post and ghost. I'll comment, I'll interact with comments. Not where they're off the chart so that I couldn't, but it gets to be a little bit much. And then sometimes there's that negativity in there. Do you find that at all? Or I know it can't be all positive. There's got to be the one guy, that'll never work, the shit like that.
Yeah, definitely not all positive. And I need to get better about this. I kind of did take a step back, especially with the messages and the comments. I did take a step back just to clear my mind a little bit. It was becoming a little too much.
Yeah.
But one example is this: I've hurt my knee recently, and I was still posting videos, and then the guy was like, "Yeah, you should bend your knee more," and I'm just like, "Yeah." I didn't even respond. I don't want to be like, "Oh, I'm hurt," anything like that. So it's just "Yeah." Let's take it. Just take it on the chin. It's part of
That's not that bad. That one's not that bad. I put I've been posting just because I think they're funny and I enjoy them. I really do. I post what I think is funny, And then obviously it works. So you're posting things that you like to do and your moves, right? And then sometimes you have somebody else come on too. I feel like if you do it for yourself, you do it to feed your whatever inner child, inner jiu-jitsu guy, whatever it is. That's when it'll resonate. If I like it, somebody else is going to like it. You're not going to please everybody. But I've been posting just like I found these a couple of channels. One is called Kids Getting Hurt. Every time I say that handle, everybody laughs. Doesn't matter who it is, everybody laughs. Man. I said that to a buddy, and I was just like, "Oh, check out this channel." And he saw the name, and he was just like, "Nope, not gonna do it," because he thought it was like gonna really be like really bad shit. Mom, like it's Instagram, they're not gonna let it go too far. But they have Kids Getting Hurt, Kids Getting Turned, like turned up. Then I found like Nature is Metal. Everybody probably sees the animal videos from there. That one's awesome. And there's one called America's Got No Talent. They're just funny videos. Most of the time they wind up, even with like Nature's Metal, it winds up with something getting eaten or somebody getting hurt, right? So I just started going, I'm like, that's funny. I'm like, oh my God, there's a jiu-jitsu thing in there. There's a jiu-jitsu something in there. The other day I posted an elephant fighting a rhino, and he winds up impaling the rhino with a horn. And I just reposted it, like I made it like about a gym bully, like when the gym bully's got to take care of the visiting, bully, the drop-in bully or something. I said, and what do I get? Like people like, that's wrong, that's messed up, like people commenting and having conversations about why they were fighting and who's the aggressor and all. And I stayed out of that totally. Then the other day I posted one. It was there was a kid falling down, like it looked like basement stairs. A kid just like fell and rolled down the basement stairs. A little kid too, and it was on that page, and it was on one of the Kids Getting Hurt page, and I just reposted it. And then it's just like, is that kid okay? And then somebody's just like, I'm out, unfollow. Like that's not funny. God. But like I think that's funny. Like I didn't make the video. I'm the person in the video letting the kid fall down this. Like a woman is on like an exercise bike in the basement, and then the kid just comes rolling down. So like the kid wasn't being watched, right? So stuff like that, I don't get into it. But that's just like a new thing I've been doing, and maybe that stops. But I just thought they were funny, and people you can just scroll by something and not comment. You're not gonna like everything, and there's people that want to. I've done it too, like too far. Too soon, but like kind of maybe even joking, like I'll comment. But these people that are just like, they take it so seriously and really want to get into it, almost like they know you. And I think that's part of it, probably for you more than us, because you are the person on screen all of the time. Is people think they know you and then kind of want to have that conversation. Like, I watch your stuff all the time. Like, you don't know me, like, right? They're thinking when they're messaging you that they almost have that interaction. I don't know. Do you find that? Do you kind of find people think they know you already? For sure.
Yeah, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It kind of breaks the ice for a lot of things. I feel like I'm such a happy kind of go lucky kind of guy that it's like it's kind of nice sometimes to get that like, oh, it's all good, we're good vibes. How
about in the face to face though? Like when the face to face, are they just like immediately like? Again, it's like they know you. Does that make you feel weird? Because online is one thing. Face to face, it's just like, whoa, how do I know
it's all good as long as like they just don't want to talk to me for an hour. Some of these guys just want to talk to me for like the whole time, and it's just like, yeah, I'm just trying to roll, dude. You like, let's go. But when you like with the comment thing, is like, was it like PETA like activist type things like with the animals, or was it like were they really like upset?
Well, again, it was like I'm just reposting. It was a Nature's Metal video. I reposted. I cut a little bit off, and the part that I cut off was just like the rhino running away after it got impaled. But it was just the same video, and then I put like the Matt, in our world, right? There's always almost always a Matt enforcer. Like, hey, look at that guy that just dropped in, visiting, is being a dick. There's always somebody that gets the nod, at least in my gyms where I've been, and it was. It wound up being a little bit more, and with that one in particular, it was like people trying to explain what was going on. Like one was like somebody like wrote this long thing about explaining that even though the elephant impaled the rhino, I guess it's like, if you really get into it, which I think is silly, but the rhino looks like it's attacking the elephant. But then somebody was just like, it was probably the rhino defending itself because male elephants will try to have sex with rhinos. I think male or female. Yeah, right? So that's the conversation that's happening in the comments. And
like,
then
what the fuck?
It even got into, somebody was just like, oh, is that a male or female? And somebody's like, look between its legs. You don't see the dick hanging down. Like, it got into that. Like, people are just going back and forth. Again, I think it's funny.
Sounds like Miami Beach.
Yeah, right? I think it's funny. If it was more personal, if it was like me in the video and then somebody was commenting, I don't care who you are, you're going to take a little bit. That's why, like, again, Rogan is like post and ghost, because he knows if you get into it, it's a rabbit hole, and it winds up weighing on you. Like, he's a, I don't know if you watch Rogan at all, but like when I love to watch, I watch Rogan, and I always like watching the comedians, or the, MMA guys or the comedians is usually what I watch. I'll search those out, and he'll always like recommend to like a guy who's like getting into the comments with people, but then some of the comedians, that's their thing. It's to totally rip somebody down. You just have to have a really strong mind to not let it get to you. Because even when they're not personal attacks, I'm like, motherfucker, why do you have to comment? Why do you have to comment about the damn elephant? Right? And you want to say something, and then I always catch myself like, post and ghost, don't do it.
Yeah.
So I'll really like respond to the positive. Oh, I love the show, or that was great, or hey, where's Miguel? When's he coming back? Like stuff like that. I'll always respond to those.
Where the fuck is Miguel?
Miguel?
This is my third time.
Yeah. Has he not been here for any of your podcasts? Oh shit. So Miguel, super good friend of mine. I've said this on a couple of podcasts. We're super good friends. He got like this really big deal, like a client at his job. I won't go into what he does, but he's like involved with like installing basically like city water systems. Like,
he lays pipe.
Yeah, he lays pipe. Yeah, that's an easy way to say it.
Fucking pipe layer.
He lays pipe. So he got this really big account that he like landed himself. It's not his job to land accounts, but he landed the account, and I guess he also has to run it. So we're in Miami, and he would have to go up throughout the week to a place called Melbourne, which is pretty much like close to like Orlando. It's like on the closer to the water than Orlando, but like half hour away. So for him, he's already going from Davie, Florida, up to Melbourne to come all the way back to Miami. That's a 3-hour drive from where he is to then come home, but then drive past where he lives to drive another 45 minutes to an hour to get here. It's just it's not doable. He's a dad. He's got 2 kids. He does jiu-jitsu. They do jiu-jitsu. So it's a little too much for him right now. I'm hoping that part of moving to Boca, now we're on the way. Now he can now we could figure out, on certain days. Now we were always filming on Thursday for Miguel because of Miguel. I work during the day. That was like, I can set aside. I talked to my wife on Thursdays. I won't go train. I will come to the podcast. That's my thing. He always on the show, he goes, Thursdays are fucked. And he just meant, I'm working and then coming to the podcast. Thursday's gone. I'm not doing anything else. So yeah, I'm hoping that moving to Boca. I haven't really even talked to him about it specifically. I showed him the studio, and I've sent him some videos of the studio, but I haven't said like, hey, you're coming back. But I have a feeling that it'll. Hey, I'm driving. Hey, you do. It's on the schedule. I see the schedule. I'm gonna pop in, and there's plenty of. It's like a desk with like a 4 mic setup now. So. We definitely have people in. So yeah, you haven't met him. We didn't do anyone with him yet. Oh, so yeah.
Nah, that's all good though. You secure the bag, leave the pipe.
Yeah, man. I'm super happy for him. I don't know if he winds up. I don't know if there's like a commission or what if he makes more, but he's got to like manage that. So it's just like the travel time is just like I can't then do this too.
Yeah,
and he gets paid here in fucking swag. He gets paid in sponsor gear. So it's not like he's made, like he was getting like some big salary here. So I really appreciate him and all the people that have, we're 4 years in and I've had people come and go and it's always been like, I moved or, work or whatever. Me and Bo, are the mainstays. I started it. I had the idea, and then I just brought in training partners. Like, hey, you guys want to come and talk about jiu-jitsu? So I think getting it back to up in Boca is very much closer to the people that we know as well. So like, where me that I know in the jiu-jitsu world that I see the most of. So it's going to be a little bit easier for me to now get people in. Coming to Miami, I don't know people down here. And when my gym left the Fight Sports affiliation, with all the craziness that was happening, like we no longer like had a foot in the door, wanted a foot in the door with all the shit that was happening. It was kind of like, hey, listen, I know it's not everybody's fault, but it was just like weird to speak out about it and then invite somebody on from Fight Sports. There's no love.
Yeah.
I don't hate anybody because they're in Fight Sports, but it was kind of a little bit, we're coming out and speaking up against the, kind of the sexual assault and all the stuff that was going on, to then have somebody, hey, tell me about your jiu-jitsu and your, how did you find it? It would be wrong.
Yeah,
I don't have like a rule like nobody from Fight Sports, but we moved down to Miami to be closer. We had Wagner on like the week before all this shit hit the fan, like maybe 2 weeks before, and then we put it out the next week, and then a week later, the Fight Sports world blew up. Again, I don't hate anybody. It's just facts. These things happened, and if somebody wants to come on and talk about it, that was involved, happy to have them on. But to just have people on from especially HQ down here and act like nothing happened, or to not bring it up, just not in my DNA to not. No, we got to talk about it, right? So that's kind of like the whole history of like us coming down. But we didn't move down just for that. Bo was like, I got this empty apartment. We could do it here for free. And then it was just like, oh wow, we'd be so close to Miami and all the fights, all that craziness. So that's what happened, and that kind of went away.
Eventually, I will be transitioned completely into a hand.
Are you transitioning
into a hand puppet?
Oh,
so I'm
so progressive.
Yeah, I'm trans puppet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you look that up, Yoshi? Did you look?
No, I wrote it down. I'm gonna check it out later.
Okay, yeah.
But there is like, that was like a few years ago. There was this video of this dude who did like a whole like kung fu skit with like the fighting kung fu.
I just reposted that the other day.
Yeah.
I just posted that.
Yeah. That video's a classic, man. That shit was so good.
Yeah, it's like the master against like the student returns or something. Yeah. I just posted
one's in a black outfit, one's in a white outfit.
I had. You know what? I don't think that I had seen that. But if I saw it before, I just. I don't remember it, but I saw it the other day. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm like, look at the way he's moving the hands. Like it was so perfect, right? And like the one hand's got like the bandana on, I love that. That's great.
Hey, Yoshi, your camera went blurry.
Oh.
Hey, yeah, there you go. Honk. Nope.
Yeah, still a little bit blurry. Probably a wire. Give it a little shaky shake.
Humidity.
There you go, right?
There it is.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah. I think I remember that. I think that kind of happened last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get a new camera. I got a piece of shit Logitech webcam.
Oh, so do we.
I looked mine up I typed in piece of shit web camera.
I've been waiting for Bo to send me an Amazon link to a better camera since the entire time I've been here for like the 2 years, and we either he didn't send it, or I just missed it or forgot, and we just stuck with the same.
I think I put it in the list, in the wish list.
Yeah. Well, now Amazon, I don't think we need it now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's again going. That's a big part of why we're moving up there, to kind of get back in the mix. The driving's a little bit killer for all of us, but so we'll make Bo drive for a little bit. Bo drove the first 2 years. He drove an hour up. Now I drove down for the second 2 years, and I think actually we were talking about it. Bo will probably just do like the post production, because they have a production staff there, so they'll do that, and then we'll get it to Bo, and he'll do.
I'm just gonna get one of those
jetpacks,
the jetpack things.
Yeah,
and just. At least, So
Bo's still here, and yeah, it'll be cool, and hopefully you'll get to meet me. Like, bro, man, if you ever, advertise some seminars. Coming to Florida.
Yeah,
do some seminars down here, man, and we'll get something on the schedule. That would be awesome to have you here. And I'm moving to. We're flipping our house, and I'm going to a 3-bedroom, and I'm going to have mats. Hey, I could work out in the house, but I go to my gym 6-7 days a week now. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to have it so that I can film content there. So it's going to look, going to make it look like a room, and then have I'm going to film content there. So we're going to do that as a little bit of that as well. But our stuff is going to be very much tongue in cheek.
Miss your morning routine, BioPro.
Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at TheBJJBox. The Jiu-Jitsu Dummies would like to congratulate Neutral Zone Clean on the release of their newest product, a healthy and pH-balanced bar soap that's perfect for anyone looking to take care of their skin. This soap is made with all-natural ingredients that help nourish and restore your skin's natural barrier. It contains glycerin, which naturally attracts moisture to itself in the skin, leaving it feeling soft and hydrated. The new bar soap also contains a blend of olive, coconut, and castor oils and shea butter, which are rich in vitamins, nutrients, essential fatty acids, and antioxidants that help fight harmful bacteria. With tea tree and other natural ingredients, it also helps in the prevention of fungal infections. Not only is it effective, but it also leaves your skin feeling fresh and lightly scented. It's gentle enough for even the most sensitive skin, making it a perfect choice for the whole family. Be sure to check out their website, neutralzoneclean.com, for a range of all-natural products including sprays, wipes, and shower gels, and use code JJD for 15% off your order. Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
Kind of play off the dummies and just like funny stuff, weird stuff.
Semi-satirical.
Dickhead stuff. I like dickhead moves. We did a couple of dickhead moves here and there that we put out. Just like little stupid things that we do, and we'll just kind of see where that goes. So I'm not looking to do moves. I don't feel like I'm that good of a teacher. I haven't I think you have to have it. You teach classes.
Every once in a while. So I'm there's an academy right outside of San Francisco called the Cave Academy, and when the main guy works for the SF Waterworks, so he does all the construction for the he lays pipe for the city.
Him and Miguel get along really well.
Nice.
He'd be laying pipe for the city, so sometimes he has to call in at night, or he has a big job to do, or a water main broke in the fucking downtown, he has to go fix it.
Yeah.
So I'm his substitute.
Yeah.
But I don't have 8 o'clock. That's Yoshi's class. I'm just kind of fill in the space guy, which I kind of like because it doesn't lock me into anything.
I think you have to be, in order to do what you do and what other people do, you've got to have an instructor. You've got to just be doing it all the time, and then you do it and you film it. Okay, So I've I'm a brown belt. I haven't coached since blue, since my very first school up until I was a 2-stripe blue belt, but I was helping out. But it was kids class and beginners, so everybody was behind me. I wasn't training higher belts, and I loved it. I love that. I still to this day, I know broken record to our listeners, but I love grabbing the new guy, especially if it's bigger. They're always go to Milton, So they're doing a move of the day, but when it's okay, ready, let's do that move, 1, 2, 3. I go and I'll be okay, listen, we're working on this. We're not doing that. We're going to, bases, get in my guard. I get in your guard. Let's do some passing. I love doing that. But that's super basic. So the more advanced stuff that I know how to do, I'm not proficient in breaking that down and showing somebody. Plus to just really for us, jiu-jitsu dummies, come on, you got to be a little silly about it. This was always what it was meant to be. Hey, I'm the dummy. We're the dummies. We're learning. Let's be funny about it. Let's just be big kids, let the inner child out.
I got a question for Yoshi.
Sure. This is a good time to ask.
Yeah. Yoshi, where have you thought about, let's call it your exit strategy when you're 65?
exit strategy.
What do you see yourself at or doing?
So let me. I know where he's going. So let me preface that, because I'm going to ask a question that's going to, I think, lead you to that. So one of the questions, like, what has changed? Like, is this turning more and more into a business? Are you talking to sponsors? So if there's an exit strategy, tell us about what you're doing now, and has it become more of a business for you, or is it still more of just like, it's just fucking
just
fun?
a hobby? It's still just a hobby. I've gotten a few sponsors. I think I'm on the Show Your Roll team, which is great. I love those guys.
What does that mean to be on the Show Your Roll team?
Pretty much just like, I guess, swag.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, are you guys going out to compete, or am I gonna see you at Quintet?
I would love to compete. My knee is not in the best situation right now. I'm actually getting an MRI later in August.
Okay.
I would really love to compete. My goal is to like figure out what's wrong with my knee, and then I want to train a bunch of local tournaments, and then I want to do the Asian Open next year.
Okay.
In Tokyo. That's like to go to Japan and like bring that samurai spirit. Like that's a big goal of mine. So like hopefully I can fix this whatever's going wrong with my knee. Okay. I think 20 years of judo is not the best on the knees. And
it's not the best on anything, on anybody part. Right?
So my goal is to really just get out there and do some local tournaments and then compete in there. I go to Show Your Roll, they would like, love for me to compete and do that, but it's not anything like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. Yeah. I'm just a content creator for them pretty much in their eyes. I'm not on the competition like circuit. And then recently we share the same one. Leo Optics just reached out. Okay. So I'm with them too. And I haven't really marketed myself enough, but I do want to start doing seminars and things like that. But it's still just a hobby. Yeah, it still feels like a hobby. It doesn't feel like a business, or like it doesn't feel like work. It still feels like a hobby.
On purpose, or do you feel like, I need to? I could, like, I know you going to school still.
Yeah. I'm just so busy, man. I'm going to school. I'm a full-time grad student. I'm in a doctoral program, so I'm like, a lot of my mind's focused on that. Okay. I'm at a full-time job too. I work for the University of San Francisco as an executive assistant. I might be going up for promotion soon, so I'm like, work's kind of busy right now too. So I got so many moving parts. Okay. Hanging out with like friends, hanging out with girls, hanging out at the raves, like. I'm trying to keep fun in life. Yeah. But it's hard to keep fun in life when you have, like full-time training, full-time work, full-time school. So
no, okay.
Trying to do everything.
Full-time party.
Yeah.
Full-time party.
Yeah, man. If there's ever a time, the business side of this, I could be helpful with some suggestions, show you like what we send out, like the kit that we have, like a 2-page kit that we send. It was a 1-pager, now it's a 2-page. Like it's grown. Shows a little background, shows our packages. I always say though, but if you
show your package,
make an offer. Not make an offer but I'm open to suggestions. What do you want us to put together? And us doing like more content is part of that. Is like it opens up. This is a business for us. This is part of my Black Belt digital marketing company business now. Clients have become sponsors. Sponsors have become clients. So it's totally unintended, unexpected. Happy that it did. So it is a business. So it's just, like we just brought on BioPro, Leo Optics a couple months ago. So it's, it is. This is the work. This is my version of, what you're doing. I'm not going to school. I'm not in the doctoral program. But if there was ever a time you just wanted to like use a cheat sheet and be like, hey, how did you do this? Or what did you do here? Or can I see the kit? Can you, happy to share, man. And that, beyond, I was going to ask you like, oh, so are you monetizing anything online? If you're not like, for me, we monetize it with sponsorships. I mean, I just, the nightmare, not even nightmares, but just hearing content creators being like, I don't really make anything from, like, Instagram shut down what they were doing. We made a little bit of money on that,
man. That was lunch money.
But look, pennies make dollars, right? If a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. I just realized, like, we were already doing the sponsorships. We were just doing the sponsorships because we were doing giveaways in the beginning. Don't give us any money. We just want products. Send it directly to the user. Now they're a customer of yours. But like, send us questions and we send you something, or let's do a giveaway. That was all. That's the way we got people working with us, and they were like, this is cool. What else? Then after the first year, which wound up being like COVID after the first year, I was like, I'm going to go get sponsors. And then COVID, and I'm like, nobody was like, we don't even know if we're going to be around. Everybody was, like, well, we don't know if gyms are closing and we can't sell gis, we can't sell product. How am I going to sponsor something? We got lucky. We actually did have a few people that said yes, and then it just kind of took off. And those were people that were working with us already on the giveaways and stuff. So it was a good way. Start with this, like, we'll give you the free promo. Don't even send me. I'm not even looking for you to send me anything. Don't even send me what the winner gets. I don't want you to think I'm going to, hey, yeah, but Bob in Nebraska won, and I take it. No, send it to them. Now they're in your funnel, and they're a customer of yours, and that's how we built it. But, yeah, it's been cool, It's,
it just grows organically like that. You just take care of your people, and then they see like, oh, what you're doing is super cool. Like, I love that. I love that.
And that now it turned into something. And honestly, like, I've joked again. I said this on the last podcast, so I apologize to anybody who's like, "This is the same podcast." Like I've said, like we're very knock on wood. I love when a sponsor reach out. I don't search for sponsors anymore. We have, including Black Belt, like we have like 7 sponsors. So it's like, there's limited space. I'm like, we're becoming like the NASCAR of podcasts here. There's so much. The new studio will also let me break that down a little bit better and like where we put stuff, so it's just not like all in their face, but still represented.
NASCAR is calling.
Hey, NASCAR, we want to sponsor the podcast. So look, good problem to have. Yeah, but it was all really, it's like every sponsor has probably talked to every other sponsor, or at least some of the other sponsors. Like Flow and Roll is going to have rash guards in the quarterly box for the BJJ box, right? Neutral Zone has spoken to BJJ box about their CBD and their clean products, right? Like, so like we're putting always connecting people. I think Leo Optics talked to Flow and Roll about doing shirts. Like everyone's talking to everyone, which is kind of the like part of my pitch when I'm talking to somebody. I'm like, this is more than just we're going to mention you on the podcast. We do giveaways online. We do this. We do that. And please talk to the other, like, see where the synergy is. Hey, you guys also do something. If, hey, the web, right? If that web around the podcast and for you guys works out better, they say, hey, I got a guy that we sponsor that we think would be great for the podcast. Send him over, man. Let's talk to him.
It's not a connector.
It's not a way to get on for them to get somebody on the podcast. So you got to sponsor us. But it happens like, hey, that guy's awesome. He's got a great message and he happens to be sponsored by you. Well, why not? Like, so that's kind of fit in. So, that's just the way we made it happen.
Part 2 of that question: where do you see yourself?
So the exit strategy.
65?
Let's go. Yeah, let's go back to that question.
Where do you see yourself when you're like 60, 65? Where do you see your life going there? Or have
he's smiling like funny answer loading. He's like funny answer buffering.
I mean, man, hopefully my fucking knee's still working. I can walk. Nah, but I'm gonna keep training. It's just have fun, keep training. There's this guy in my academy. We call him Old Man Mike. He's got to be 72.
If you said 50, I would have killed you.
Nah, 70,
super old as dirt. He's like
he's
50.
Fucking old as he's 73, dude. He'll go to the biggest guy in the room, biggest, youngest guy. And he's like, let's go. He's just, let's bang. And that's where I want to be. When I'm that age, he rides a bike. Parks right in front of the academy. And he has a little BMW bike. And man, he just parks right in front, hops in. And dude, he's been Old Man Mike since I was a white belt. So like, he's been grinding for a minute. But like, he's always there. He's always, he's never scared of a fight, and he's always still training. He's pretty crazy.
I'll go back to this question. What is it about jiu-jitsu? Somebody that's listening that doesn't do jiu-jitsu, or they're in the car and the wife doesn't train and the husband's trying to get. What is it about this that makes you fall in love, that we're willing to do this to our bodies? That's the secret of jiu-jitsu. Everything will hurt. What is it about that? What is it that makes us so addicted, right? That gets us so addicted.
I think there's like multiple facets of it. It's like, one, it's human chess. So it's like problem solving with our body. That's like one layer of it. 2, it's almost like tribalism. It's like a small group of people from different ways of life come together to accomplish a similar goal. And it's just like when people come together to accomplish a similar goal, it just like magic happens. And it's guys and girls, but like jiu-jitsu is mainly like, there's usually more guys than girls in the academy. And it's something about just like being with the boys and just like, you know, trying to like fuck each other up. It's like there's something to that. And it's like, even when you're in bad situations, it's like, I've been watching a lot of World War I and World War II, like documentaries and movies. And it's like, yo, they're in the trenches. They're like going through shit, but a lot of them are smiling sometimes, like in the footage, and like, you're like, damn, it's because they really came together to accomplish something, to like a common goal.
Yeah.
Like these guys didn't know each other yesterday, and they're just like shoulder to shoulder in the trenches. And I think there's something really to that, where it's like you come together and you're just like, man, this is pretty badass what we're doing.
So I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna mention something I saw this morning. I watched it's like a story. Like I've like been watching the news on like some CBS app that's on like Samsung TV that just like comes automatically. So I'm like, I throw that on, have a cup of coffee in the morning, and they did a story about these do I call them elderly, older women, like 60s, 70s, 80s. I think the oldest player they had was in the 90s, in her 90s. And it was, they play basketball. There are these old women, and like I think they're like all wearing like these long black skirts. One of the rules is no running. So they're playing basketball, walking, right? They don't want to hurt each other, right? But they have this playoff. It was like, I think they were at like the finals or something for the league. And it's these women, these older women that are playing basketball. And these were not women who played basketball their whole lives. But the one common thing, when they interviewed some of the women, the one common thread, the thing that they all had in common, they all said it was the camaraderie and the community.
Yeah.
And I guess that's true for us. That's true for any community. You said, you know, being in the trenches, right? You could have like we had so many Marines and retired a lot of veterans on the show that were involved and that have also been guests. And sometimes it's like, I put two guys have been on the show. These guys would never talk to each other. They would never pass each other on the street if it wasn't for the military, that they were a veteran. Like that, they're automatically brothers. Even like Marines are really tight, but then like Marine in an army, like somebody who was in the army, like they'll rip on each other. There's always like the crayon jokes, like I guess Marines eat crayons and stuff, right? So they say but there's this camaraderie, there's this brotherhood, especially within each branch. And then you introduce jiu-jitsu, and it's like, come sleep on you coming into town, you can sleep on the couch if you want. Like you have a stranger that comes into town that you're like inviting into your house just because of this. Just jiu-jitsu, but it makes them an even tighter community. So I know for me, especially when things are weird or bad or just tough in my life, jiu-jitsu is always the constant through relationships, through family issues, through business, through work. Even if I'm hurt going in, that's usually my problem because then I get hurt worse. But going and for that, 2 hours maybe between, the hour class and then chit-chatting, and you go out to the car and you go in the parking lot, you're still chatting with your buddies. Like, I need that. That's good for me, especially as somebody who works from home, and most of my conversations are like this over video. To have that human interaction is huge for me. It's huge for just my mental health. So, but it was, that story was just like these older women talking about community. And one woman said, she was just like, my husband died recently, and these were the people that were there for me. It's like, okay. I mean, it's just on any level, just finding that community, whether it's jiu-jitsu or freaking, playing checkers. There are people.
My mom did that with tennis.
Play checkers?
Got a whole with tennis. No, with tennis. She's got like a whole community of older people.
Yeah.
That play tennis. They get together and they do that. I mean, it's not super.
Now it's pickleball. Are they doing pickleball in California?
My dad is an avid pickleballer.
Avid pickleballer, huh?
Avid pickleballer. Well, he teaches. He loves tennis and golf, and he teaches. He's retired. He was Air Force actually, so he's retired military. He was playing tennis a bunch with the kids, teaching kids how to play tennis, and then with his friends, he plays pickleball. Yeah, and he's trying to get me. I haven't played with him yet. My brother says it's actually pretty hard, but really? I haven't gotten out there.
So is it? I mean, I haven't watched enough of it. Is it just basically like tennis with like it's like always it doubles?
It's like tennis. It's smaller. The paddle's hard, so it's kind of like almost like a ping pong paddle. It's bigger than a ping pong paddle though.
Okay.
But it's a hard paddle, and I don't know what kind of ball they use, but it's a different ball. Okay. But it's pretty much tennis but smaller.
Is the net also like lower to the ground, right?
I think so.
Lower, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a buddy. His name is Alex. He's my barber. I met him he's a training partner. He's been out. He's been a little sick. He's been out, but he's a barber, and he's been doing pickleball. So I don't know how. I've had 2 people in my life that play pickleball. Him, and I'm in like this business referral group, and our president of the group is always talking about pickleball. I don't know how. Maybe it was like I attached myself to it, but I started getting targeted with pickleball Instagram posts. Now, it was probably because I like watched one because either somebody sent me something or I was just like, oh, that's the thing that they do. But I guess since I've watched them, now I'm getting retargeted with them, and I'm getting so it's jiu-jitsu and pickleball in my feed right now. So I'll send him stuff, and it's funny, like it's a community. There's like this thing around it, and it's become this thing, and it's like he's not doing jiu-jitsu right now because he can't, but he's playing pickleball, and he's always talking about it. Now, this is like he's in I think he's early 40s, like super New York, like for lack of it, like he's like totally homie, hood, like he's fucking, like straight off the streets of New York City, and awesome guy. And he's playing pickleball, and I find that hilarious because the other pickleballers that I know I've understood it to be this thing that older people were doing. Is that not the case? Is it like everybody's playing pickleball now?
I think there's both levels. I think it's mainly older people for like recreational pickleball.
Yeah.
But there's also like competitive pickleball, which like I think there's a bunch of young dudes that are like, let's get it.
Yeah, now I'm sending him video. I'm sending them both videos every time I get retired. I guess I'm just doing it to myself now. Now I'm watching them, and Instagram is seeing me do that. But what I wanted to go back to?
Somebody said, "Let's make this hurt."
Yeah. Well, speaking of hurt, you were talking about your knee, and I'm an advocate for jiu-jitsu. I love jiu-jitsu. I'd take every bit of pain that I have and every injury that I've ever had and will have, knock on wood, hoping not too many. I would take all of it before I stop.
No, for sure.
But there's this little part of me now as I get older, when that mom asks me about jiu-jitsu or, a friend asks me about it, I'm not so like, it's not like I was before. I was like, yeah, man, come down. You got to do it. I still love it. I'm still saying that. But there's this little part of me that feels a little guilty. Like, just be prepared. You're probably going to blow out at some point. You're going to blow out a knee. You're gonna tear an ACL, MCL, whatever. Your neck's going to always hurt. Your wife's probably going to have to help push you out of bed as you get older. Like my wife still, I'll be like, she'll lean over and she'll push me with her foot. I'll be like, I can't really roll and throw myself. So she'll give me a little push. If you're prepared for all that, come on down. Come on in, For like when I see the kids, especially when I see kids like doing a lot of like inversions and they're on their neck, and I'm just like, there's a little part of me that wants to say, you don't have to jump on this if you don't want to. I know for me, I'm just like, man, I really wish somebody would tell them not to do that, because in 20 years you're gonna be getting some surgery, man, because that's just gonna fucking hurt.
Yeah,
I was
just rolling with the 16-year-old, and he's so flexible, and he's getting mounted, and he's throwing his legs up, and he's like trying to pull him down and doing all this crazy stuff, and it's like, that'll work when you catch him, but it's just like, you should have your flexibility and things like that, like your youthfulness, accentuate your technique. You shouldn't have it replace your technique. Okay. So as long as like someone's like keeping them on the right track, like especially when when they cut through past, like let's say someone's doing like a matrix and they like turn around and like try to 180 with their knees still facing that way, and it's like their head's facing the other way. It's like, that might work right now, but come on, you're gonna fuck up your ACL.
I am a horrible knee cutter because I blew out my right knee, and I'm going that way, right? I'm going that way, and we do a lot of lockdown. So I saw we call it folding the leg, but where you let go of the lockdown, but you kind of fold the leg. You're scooping that you can't see my leg doing.
Toward the outside?
Yeah, I saw a video the other day that actually named it and said the name of it. I don't even remember, but we just called it folding the leg. Fold the leg. Like fold the leg. But like you're in the lockdown, you let go of the lockdown, and the outside leg folds their outside leg, and now it's an easy sweep, right? that's how I blew out my knee.
Yeah, that's a super dangerous position.
Yeah, people say it's actually probably worse than the lockdown. Like I all day long I will sweep people with the lockdown in, even do like a little electric chair. And my coach like, you're gonna blow out somebody's knee. I'm like, what? How? I don't. The folding that you blew out my knee with the folding the leg. You blew out my knee. How? I'm like, that's the one that's more dangerous. But we do a lot of that. My coach is like super awesome with like, he's done like 3 or 4 fight to wins and won the same way every time. Like getting him into a Z guard, half, get the lockdown, or do the folding the leg. And when we do, like, I just go with it. I don't do like the 180 pass because I'm like, oh man, I just know like if it gets caught.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I did
not for like a Tuesday night roll.
I did find it was Lachlan Giles. How do you say his last name? Giles. I saw him with. I saw him showing this move with a young superstar. Jesus, I'm like always bad with names. He's showing like a way to like smash the lockdown by like just really like basing out really far, and then you put your foot in the leg and like kind of then you do. Now I do it that way. If I'm going to do the knee cutter, if I'm going to do a knee cut pass, I've got my foot holding their leg down. That's the only way I'll do it now. But just like yanking it out, trying to go while they're trying to put it back in, I'm just like, nope, I know where that leads. I know where that goes. But I still going back. I still feel Craig Jones. Can't believe I couldn't remember Craig Jones. Lachlan Giles was doing that with a younger Craig Jones in like when they were still in Australia. But yeah, so I still have that little bit of like, man, yeah, just be careful. Like, yeah, come to jiu-jitsu, but just be 100%. Careful if you do it. But I do like, my coach does tell the young guys, he will still be like, get off your neck. You're gonna, he'll say it right in the class, like, be careful with that inversion. You're gonna hurt your neck. Like, don't do that. But there's always that guy that freaking, like, I do a lot of north-south too, and there's one kid that just throws his legs over and then just tries to take my back and come out of it. I'm just like, what are you doing?
That's a cool move, but it's like, yeah, the likelihood. But if like someone does hit it, you're just like, that really just happened to me. Did anyone see that? All right,
I'm also, if it's the younger guys that do that, and I usually just let it go. I'll let it go and then they stop. Like I let it go. There's a nice little kind of submission from there if you've got their arm caught, and I'll let it go and I'll just move on to something else. I know number one, if I don't let it go and then we're fighting, he's like throwing his leg, and I've just got his neck here. I'm like, it doesn't lead to anywhere good for him. Even if he takes my back.
I'm surprised your coach doesn't. I think that the knee's dangerous in lockdown. I feel like the knee's actually pretty secure in lockdown. I do a lot of reverse lockdown where I don't lock it down in between the feet. I go to the outside and lock it on the outside.
Yeah,
like I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I do both, but I prefer the reverse lockdown. I just feel like the knee's okay. I think when like you're in half guard and you like I don't know if you know Coyote Guard, Lucas Leitch system. It's like
probably when you seen it. I don't know the name.
Yeah, when you use your heel and reap out their leg to like they're pull out their leg and like then you entered Coyote Guard. It's like I feel like that part when you're saying folding the leg.
I feel like that might be the name of what I'm talking about. Right? You're letting it go when you fold the leg out. So
you reap their heel out away, right? And like
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the name is called Coyote Guard.
No, Coyote Guard's when you sit up, when you like use it and then you pop up on your knees and they're like kind of over you. You're kind of like in side to side and they can whizzer.
Okay.
But that is like I feel like tweaks the knee. Okay. I've never like felt like I should worry about their knee when I'm putting lockdown on someone.
Well, I know I've had this happen when I put somebody in lockdown, like somebody maybe that visits and didn't understand it. They'll try to do a 180 with their leg in lockdown because they don't know. They're like, oh, my leg is up. Normally I just do a 180 here. It's like when somebody doesn't know. I agree. I mean, I don't feel like I've ever put anybody's knee in a lot of danger, but like the electric chair, like that's illegal in IBJJF. Like you can't do a lockdown electric chair pad. You can't have that leg on your shoulder. Yeah. And I'm like, why? He's like, yeah, I guess like there's I don't know if is it this knee? Like
no rip taints at the IBJJ.
Yeah, there's you have to let it go if once you're kind of committed to the
I didn't know that.
To the listen, I've never done an IBJJF to be honest. So, my coach telling me, I'm like, oh, he's like, yeah, you can't do it. But you could, he's even kind of said, he's like, yeah, this one's probably more dangerous, but you can do it. You could do the folding of the leg. So So yeah, we do a lot of that, but that's always the one that scared me because once you got a hurt knee. Once you blow out your knee, you're always thinking. I'm sorry, it's like anything. You're always going like you slam your fingers in the car door. You're always like, oh yeah, let me just okay. I don't want to slam my fingers in the car door again, right? Like you just know it's a thing. It's in the back of your mind, whether you realize it or not. You're always conscious of it. Yeah. So that's my thing. I'm just like super careful. The older I get, I'm constantly joking with my coach about like I'm so gentle. He'll be like, Middleton, calm down, because I'm always like a bigger guy in the gym. I'm still probably top 3 out of like the 50 male students. I'm probably one of the bigger, heavier guys, and I'm just like, but I'm gentle with people now because like I know I don't want them to hurt me and I don't want to hurt them. I'm still doing good jiu-jitsu. Yeah, I'm just not going crazy. Even man, I love to put like a knee on neck, but I do it so gently. My coach will look at me and I'm like, I'll be looking up at him going, I'm not pushing it hard. I'm just holding him here. I'm literally like not kneeing into his carotid and like trying to choke him out from there. I'll use it as like, okay, I might be on knee on belly and they're really fighting. I'll go, okay, get them to stop fighting, and you just put I put the knee more on the jawline than on their neck. So like I do things like that. Again, it sounds so horrible, but no, it is like a more gentle way of getting them to calm down rather than like digging my knee into their gut and like boom, they fart and tap at the same time, But I don't know. I think my jiu-jitsu's kind of changed like that. Now that I'm over 50, I'm just like definitely a lot more calm and let people attack. I still pull guard a lot. Let people attack. And okay, I tell everybody, especially when they're more aggressive, I say, listen, you're driving the car. You have the accelerator. I'm gonna follow you. It's gonna be like this. You go up, you elevate. I'm gonna elevate. You put your foot on the gas. I'm gonna put mine on the gas as well. That's just the way I do it. Sometimes I'm not training to go to a competition. I'm training for me. And, just for me, my health, my mental health, my physical health. So I'm not like so worried about it's like got to be aggressive. Can't let that guy get an advantageous position. I don't know. Right now with the knee the way it is, you're still training or are you completely sidelined?
I am still training. Not as frequently as I would like to. I was doing 2 days quite a bit, like 2 or 3 times a week. Now I got to stick to 1 day of training a day pretty much. Yeah. We installed an ice bath at my academy, a little barrel and an ice machine. So that's really the only thing that I can't like continue makes me able to train, because it's not like I didn't rip anything. It's just my knee swells up. Like I could feel it swell up after training. Wow. And then the ice bath, like man, that shit sucks. But 3 minutes,
it's so good, good and so bad, right?
There, and it just takes the swelling out, and I'm able to train the next day. If I don't ice bath, I might have to take like 2 or 3 days off in between trainings right now.
Ice is your best friend in that scenario, definitely.
Yeah. And I'm trying to get to there. Like there's a little thermometer in the water. I get it to about 40 degrees. When I get into the 30s, it's too painful. Like it's not even like painful in my body. It's just like my fingers and my toes, like the little small parts of your body. Yeah. Like that just sucks. So I bring it to about 40 degrees, 40, 45. That's like my sweet spot. I do like usually like 3 minutes the first round and maybe like a minute or 2 the second round. Like get out, chill for a little bit, go back in. And that's been saving my knee until I can figure like I said, I got this MRI in late August. So right now it's allowing me to train and continue training.
I haven't done an ice bath yet. I'm always telling people like go home, cold shower. If that's as close as you can get, like cold shower, stand in the cold shower for a little while. Especially my neck. I love that. I'm on my neck. I come out of there. Whatever it is, it helps. It's not 100%, but I've got a nice ice pack that with Velcro set up from CVS. Like I put it on my knee for 5 minutes. I put it on my shoulder for 10, and then I'll sit in bed like I got my neck cranked recently by a blue belt, and he did a little what is it? Like he had like a headlock, but then he was off to the side, and then he grabbed my leg and kind of came together, And I was just like, he was like starting to like really get his arms together, pull on it, and I'm like, no fucking way, I'm not you stupid. Ego. I'm like, I'm not tapping. And part of it was this, Ray. You did this. One of my really good friends and training partners, this guy Ray in the class. He recruited this kid. This kid actually he works for him. So this guy, his name is Tommy. Tommy is looking directly at Ray, and Ray is coaching him on how to he's like, grab the leg. He grabs the leg, and I look at Ray, and I'm like, I look at him, and I gave him like, I see what you're doing, but we're, it's all in jest. It's meant to be funny. And then he really cranked it, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not. Now I can't tap because now my friend is just coaching his fucking, his buddy on how to beat me, and like I can't tap. And I wound up like getting my hand around, and I think I grabbed like his chin. I grabbed him from like behind, and I pulled him off, and he let it go. But cranked my neck, and it's been hurting since then. So when I do go train, I take that cold shower, and after I ice down a couple of joints, I just lay in bed with that ice pack behind my neck and like kind of over here on the side and the shoulder. It's amazing. I can sleep. If I don't do that, it's just like, yeah, I'm miserable. Bo, are you falling asleep? We're putting Bo to sleep. Did you get some pics and videos? Let's do it.
There was this dude that put me in a kesagatame, which is like a judo pin, and it was like right on my stomach. And like I feel like there's parts in the jiu-jitsu, it's like, man, you can't tap. Like it's like, I could tap right now, but nah, there's no way.
Tapping from pressure, like the biggest no-no, right? Tapping from pressure, top pressure is just like you can't. I've done it. I've definitely, I've like
it's a big like 300-pounder.
If I'm tapping from pressure, it's going to be to a higher belt. It's going to be to like my coach or somebody. I have some big guys in my school, man. Definitely like 220 and higher. I'm under 230 right now, but like there are guys. There's a guy that lost like 60 pounds. I think he was like over 300 pounds, and I used to pull guard on when he was new. I used to pull guard on him because even though he was big, I can manage, get on my side and stay. Now he knows a little bit. Now he's learning how to like throw his weight around. 60 pounds lower, but still heavy. And man, I'm like, no more pulling guard. So I just fight for the top now. I make him fight
on bottom.
I let him beat up other people now. I'm like, go beat them up. And I'm also, what do you think about this? Like again, at 50 and I'm hurt, I definitely, I'll turn down a roll. I'll turn down a 25-year-old purple belt that's like, you want to roll? And I'm just like, not today. Can't. I will pick who I roll with. How do you feel about that? I've seen that online a lot. Like, it's okay to pick. I will turn down a roll. Usually not if it's a higher belt. I'll just let them know, hey, listen, my neck's fucked up. Don't crank my neck. But like a lower belt, I'll be like, next time, Saturday. Saturday open mat. You and me will roll.
It's always okay to say no. Like this is your time to do what you're working. Like you said, you're not working out for a competition. You're working out for you. So it's like do whatever is always in your best interest. I was just at a gym where it's like, okay, it's time to spar. Everybody line up according to belt, and then the first person who starts walks down the line. He's like you, and the next person, the highest rank, goes down the line and says you. And every single round was like that. So like you spar, and then you line back up according to rank. And then the highest belt picks who he wants to roll with. And I was like, it just felt like a little too Cobra Kai like. It was just a little too much like I'm always down with lower belts asking you to roll. And again, you can always say no. But it's just like when it's like too formal structure, I feel like there's a little bit, I don't know, it just feels like uneasy when it's like, just my belt just means I've been here longer. It doesn't mean like, it doesn't
So when they were lined up like that, we're like, I would think I would feel bad to like go down and grab a lower belt. Like I would pick like the brown belt next to me. Yeah. At least on the first, like I'd be like, okay, let me pick. I would feel like a bully. The further you go down the line, the more. Unless that guy's a purple belt, but he's, it's always like that kid that's been training since he was 5 and he's got a blue belt now. But he's 16 in the adults class. It's like he's been training way longer than me. So like grabbing him is like, who the hard. Like how was that set up? What did guys do? And was it like weird?
So it was definitely strategic. Like kind of like you said, like how you play the room. Like there was I'm a black belt, so I was at the end. The head instructor picked some guy, like one of his purple belts, getting ready for a competition. I think. I'm there's only 2 black belts there, and there was 1 brown belt. So of course the first roll I picked the brown belt. I just picked I'm not going to ask the instructor. He has to ask me because he's higher belt ranked than me. So it's like, if he doesn't pick me, then I was like, all right, I picked the second highest. That was the first roll. We lined back up again. And then there was a blue belt there was a blue belt and a white belt. I always try to, like, my goal, whenever I go into a sparring situation, who's the biggest guy in the room? Who's like the biggest and the baddest, right? Like, and that's first round. Like I want first round. So like, it was crazy. So I was in Austin a few weeks ago and I look at the open mat and, I always do the same thing. Who's the biggest and the baddest in the room? And then I see Nicky Rod just training in the corner. And I was like, I'm just going to go stand next to him. And then, so I do a round next to him. And then we make eye contact when the round ends. And I'm just like, you want to go? And then, so we go. And then he fucks me up. Like, he's insane. Nicky Rod is insane. He's like a mutant, bro. He's so big and he's just so fucking technical. And he's like, his wrestling is out of this world. And, but yeah, that's like kind of like the way I like to do it. Like, who's the biggest and the baddest? That's who I want to go with first.
And so, like, is it get it out of the way, or is it just like, let's just like get it out of the way? Like, let me get this beating out of the way, or let's get this out of the way so that now I can just choose whoever I want after. Like, it's not even a given that I should be going with somebody big and bad.
Yeah, it's not even to get it out of the way. It's like that's what I want to do. Okay. It's like that's what the role I want.
Okay.
I'm a big guy, so it's like I want to see what they got. And so like the first round, the brown belt, like when we did the lineup thing, the first round I went with, the brown belt was like maybe 170, you know, like he was good. He's really good, but he wasn't like super big. Like I'm 230, 240, something like I was a lot bigger than him. So like that was the first round just out of respect because he's the highest ranked in there, next highest ranked. And then I was like, all right, down to the big guys. So there was the blue belt, there was a white belt. And like people know why I picked them because it was like they were huge. They were like way taller than me.
Yeah.
I think like when they see that, it's like not a problem. But like, yeah, if I would have just went and picked up like a small white belt like you first round, I think it would have been like, yeah, some looks.
So let me tell you how like I do it. So, well, number one, in my school, a lot of times the coach will be like, it's usually like where we don't line up like that. So we're gonna drill. And usually whoever you're drilling with is going to be your first round. A lot of times, I don't know if he's just doing it to get a different feel, look, or he's like trying to screw people up that are like going with somebody that they think is going to be easy. But we'll be drilling, and then it'll be like, all right, switch partners, drill some more, and then you're drilling. That second person is the one you do your first round with. So that's usually how it is. For me, I don't ever grab anybody. I almost never grab somebody. If I do, it's usually going to be the bigger guy. Once we get going, then like I see somebody that's on, I'm like, hey, I'm available. I always go, Milton's available. My coach used to go, Milton's available, because nobody wanted to roll with me because I was always the bigger guy. And at least in my school now, there's our 2 black belt instructors, and then there's the highest guys are me and my buddy Ray. We're both brown. So like we're like maybe like we've been around a little bit longer. I'm bigger. I've been around, you know, and they know, and I can go hard if they have the accelerator. They'll know you want to bring it. Let's bring it. Sometimes I'll sit and like even like because we're gonna match up. So when we're drilling, because we're gonna match up, I'll just sit and wait. Like we'll warm up. I'll be sitting on the mat, and they'll be like, "All right, pair up." Nobody will pick me. Yeah. I'm not smelly. My gi's always clean. I shower before. It's none of that. It's like people are like, oh shit, he's the big guy. And definitely heavy. I'm super conscious. And I always joke. I said it before. Like, I am a teddy bear. I'm gonna help you. We're doing knee on bellies. I put it on your hip, so I'm on the hip bone. So I'm not, grinding into your stomach. Like I'm nice about it, unless it's somebody that's like being a dick. Oh, goes back and forth. My coach does like to say, he'll be like, especially when we're rolling, he'll be like, grab somebody who makes sense. I just love that. I love that sentence. Grab somebody who makes sense. So it's not the brown belt, the 250 brown belt with the 170-pound white belt, unless you're going to actually coach him. But sometimes there's people, not the brown belts, but sometimes there's people just like, oh, let me just grab the easy guys. I want the easy rolls and I want to beat up on people. And I know there are guys like that in probably every school. And sometimes they weed themselves out or it changes, but it happens, right? They pick somebody that they know they're going to beat up on. So I usually just sit, wait for somebody to pick me. And it's almost always as funny these days. It's like me and like the other big guy that's a white belt, like, okay, let's go together. We're the last ones. And but I have fun. I love it. And then every once in a while, if I'm like, I really need to get good rolls in today, I'll just grab somebody. I won't worry. I won't wait for somebody to like pick me. Yeah. We're not in a place where like it's we're not so structured where the lower belts can't ask a higher belt. I'm waiting for I'm the besides the 2 black belts, I am the highest. I'm one of the highest belts. Come on, who wants to roll? Yeah. So I don't usually go around and pick. So I'm usually just like, wait. My coach has a whole bunch of jokes. Like it'd be like, oh, Milton, grab the broom. You can roll with the broom, or something like that. So, what were you gonna say?
No, that's an experience. That's an experience of a lot of big guys, like, especially if you got big guy listeners. Like, man, just sitting in the middle of the mat, looking around, just waiting for someone to make eye contact with you.
I'm ready.
You just keep looking around the room, like,
you see the guy.
Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? And then they make eye contact. You're like, yeah.
It's one of between messing up my leg and when I came back, I was pulling a lot of guard. I always fought for the top. After my knee, I pulled a lot of guard, and I was like, oh, I kind of like this. I think that it's like when it's somebody that's a lot smaller than me, am I really going to just fight for the top? Let me pull guard, let them work, wait till I maybe get in a bad position, and then I'm going to work on my defense. I am still getting a good roll in. I am not going to, not get my roll in and get that energy that I need to get out. I'm going to get it out. But that's kind of where it came from. And then again, look, there are guys like that same white belt. I will not pull guard on him anymore. I will get on top. I'll still let him work. I'm not going to beat him up. But I've even noticed like he's gotten more gentle. He knows nobody wants to roll with you if you're just going to get on top and smash. It's just not people are not going to want to roll with you. And I definitely had my times where I was like smash. We've probably all done that. But I don't take it. So I don't take it personally. There's maybe one or two guys that one of the guys that used to be on the show, his name was Mauricio. He's one of the guys that, like, from episode 2, he was on for a while. If Mauricio's listening, I'm letting out the little secrets. He won't. He'll wait. His, like, you said, like, you go for the biggest, baddest guy in the beginning. He waits till, like, the last roll to ask me to roll, or to, like, I might say, let's roll, and he'll be like, no, I'm going to be over here. No, I got this guy over here.
Got to warm up.
He waits. He thinks, yeah. He thinks I'm going to be tired. And he's probably one of the guys that then I go really hard on, because I'm like, you're avoiding me, and you're my friend. You're avoiding me, though, and he's let it out. Like, I'm going to go at the end when I think you're the type. But the funny thing is, like, I try to roll every round. I've taken a break. If, like, we do a full, like, 1 hour open mat, I want to, like, it's my goal to roll every roll unless there's somebody not available. So I'll roll. And I'm like, I'm not, I can't roll. Okay. Let me pull guard. Like, I get tired, but I still roll. I wind up kicking it up with him because I know he's avoided me. So I'm saying this to his face. I'm like, you're only making it worse. I've told him on the mat, you're only making it worse. I'm going to go harder because you avoided me. Again, and we're friends, and we've been training together for years. He's a purple. He's about to be a brown belt. It's like, you're almost part of the club, buddy, and you're avoiding me. So we were out front we were after class. They were closing up. We were outside, and I said, look in the window. You can see the reflection. And I stood next to him, and I go, I don't feel like I'm that much bigger than you. You look the same. And then another guy came on the other side. He's like, me neither. I'm not, like, that much bigger than him. And I'm like, do you feel like, what's the problem with rolling? Like, I'm not, I might weigh a little bit more, but it's not like I'm like this massive guy towering over you. So I tried to, like, appeal to his, like, maybe his ego. Like, what are you, like, running from me for? Great dude. Great jiu-jitsu game. I always mess with him because he does a lot of lapel stuff, and he's getting good at it, but I won't tell him that to his face. I'm always messing. He's a
podcast for that one.
We roast the ones we love, like, where I really let him have it, because I'm like, he'll, like, when he was first really, like, on his own finding, like, lapel videos, he'd have, like, the lapels across my face, like, just really, like, burning my face, and I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, work with somebody on this. Like, get some coaching on this. Ask a coach to show you. So to this day, I'm still messing with him on his lapel stuff. We actually I named him the other day. We have a chat open with a bunch of guys, and we were saying something. Lapels came up. They said something about him. He's a magician, and I go, some would say he's a wizard. And now we're calling him the Wizard. Now he's the Wizard, hilarious. The lapel wizard. So
fucking love lapels. It's like my favorite part. My favorite part of jiu-jitsu is tying people up, or using my gi, or tying them up, or, like, figuring out some crazy lapel system. Like, I love that.
I like it. I am learning. Was never a lapel guy, and kind of learning a little bit more. I'm like, wow, that's right there. Oh, I could do this. I could do that. I'm a little bit more, I guess a little bit of what I guess my coaching was we try to do things sometimes that work either way, either gi or no gi. Mm-hmm. So yes, he's always showing like, look, if you have the gi, you're here. But a lot of times he's like, but I grab here because he's like, in my mind, it's the same move. I'm going to grab you the same way, whether we're in the gi or in no gi. It's not like you're learning two disciplines. In his mind, it's the way he coaches us. But he'll show us, look, it's here, grab here, do this to fake him out, make him roll. But I've had that mentality of like, I've never fallen really in love with the lapels because I want to do things that it's going to work both ways.
Work both worlds.
Yeah.
I feel that I love the lapel game so much, and especially because I'm a judo guy too. That my no-gi game is like non-existent.
Really,
like, it is basically I'm just flailing around trying to like out wrestle you.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You know, we only do we do like 2 days of no-gi a week. We have like Friday and Saturday are both no-gi days. So, you know, definitely we're open 7 days a week. So then it's 5 days of gi. So, but I mean, I love it either way. I think it's like once I start going to no-gi all the time, I'm just like, oh man, I miss gi, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to all of them, but in the past when that's happened, like go to gi, it's like, oh man, I just want to do some no-gi.
How's your heel hook game?
Non-existent.
Yeah, same.
Non-existent. Not scared to say. Definitely, you know, have come up in a school that was more traditional where it wasn't a lot of leg stuff until you hit brown, and still like we learn a little bit. That has changed because of all the organizations that are around and how the rules have changed, and now it's just like, okay, we're going to work on this, we're going to work on that. Because we're not a huge. I'm making an observation. If my coach hears this, I'm not speaking for him, but we're not like a huge adult competition school, so it's kind of like we don't like. It's a pathway to like knees getting jacked up.
For sure.
We are we've become more of a kids competition school. You know, my coach has a son who's probably 17 now, 16, going on 17. And I remember I had a conversation with him. You know, I've been there 7, going on 8 years. I had a conversation with him, and he was just like, my goal is to build up the kids program, which we have a huge kids program for the biggest one, and definitely in our area,
awesome.
Maybe even in South Florida. And he's like, I want to build up the kids program, and I want my son to, like, you know, when he gets older and he takes us over, son is homeschooled, his job, he's in jiu-jitsu all day long, every day. He's like, I want my son to have this team of killers. And that's what it's becoming. It's like all of these kids that are now, you know, becoming adults and, you know, again, coming out of the kids program, and they're getting their blue belts at 16, but they've been training for 10, longer than me. So it was like, that was kind of the methodology. And it was just like, he worked the long game. I'm going to build it up. I'm going to get the kids in. Because, again, you know, adults come and go. You're older, you get hurt. But he's creating these killers from kids. And we're, you know, these guys are in like at Submission Undergrounds, or not Submission Underground. What is it? Submission something. There's a whole bunch that are down here locally, but like now they're in these competitions where it's like, you know, the super fights instead of tournaments, but they're going to the tournaments. They're going up to Orlando this weekend. His son you talked about Japan. His son is supposed to fly out to Japan. They just flew out to Georgia to do an AGP. So it's like, it's worked. His methodology was there. So again, for the adults, we don't have a lot of adults that are competing. So he hasn't taught a lot of it. You know, we'll do a lot of other stuff. For me, I seek out the knowledge on my own. I seek it out. I specifically will like go on YouTube and look for something that's, you know, all right. I do a lot of toe holds. So like, what am I missing? Toe holds from where? I don't know if you know Jason Scully. Jason Scully, Grappler's Guide. He does the like the other day I watched 105 leg locks in 9 minutes. Like those are his videos, right? But it's just like super fast, and it's like I like going, oh, I'm usually there. That's what I got to do when I'm there. I'm not looking for a full instructional. I'm looking for I'm eating breakfast, having a coffee before going to practice, and I'm picking out like, oh shit, it's right there. Like so, like I've been doing a lot of toe hold and ankle lock, like looking for that stuff. Like, I feel like I'm building towards having a better leg game, but I'm doing that on my own and then secretly going in and like practicing that stuff. But so I'm on the end of the foot right now. I'm like super into to toe holds and like roll, like understanding where the foot is if we roll or we transition. And, you know, a lot of that, like the toe holds also, he'll always be like, and look like there's a lot of like calf slicers. Like if you're going after feet, like be conscious of, hey, oh, look, there's a calf slicer there as well. And then lockdown, there's a nice lockdown one. You can have somebody in the lockdown and reach around to the leg. If you're under and then you reach over the thigh. I'm like, oh, I love lockdown. I didn't know that was there. So like stuff like that. That's been my education in legs. But that's heel hooks, I find myself. Again, we do so much gi. I find myself there, but you're not supposed to do it in the gi. But so, like, I usually show it. I'll show it. Like, let him know. I'll grab it and be like, I'm not going to yank on it, but I'll look at the guy and be like, and then let it go and then transition.
Continue.
But, yeah, I mean, that's us. In your school, are you, like, we've talked about this with lots of guests. Are you teaching white belts, heel hooks? You know, what's the rule?
I'm not teaching anybody heel hooks because I suck at them.
Okay.
But you know, the Nogi guys, they do it all the time. Like, I think actually this week at the caves, all dedicated to they split the class in half. Class is at 7 p.m. There's the beginner's class, but like the main adult class is 7 p.m. and the mat's split. Half of it's gi, half of it's no gi. So you always have the choice. Like, what do I want to do today? Both classes run at the same time. At least the cave. And like today, like this week, they're all working inside heel hooks on the no-gi side. And then on the gi side, you know, we're not doing heel hooks. So it's like I'm always wearing pajamas. So I'm always wearing my gi. So like I do need to go over to the other side just to get versed in the heel hook game, but I'm just like
have you felt like as I progress in brown belt and obviously the next belt is black, as somebody who's already a black belt, do you feel a certain way about your own jiu-jitsu? I feel like I'm missing. There's a hole here. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to say embarrassed about that hole because I can seek it out. I can do one-on-ones and I can do private sessions. And again, there's plenty of stuff online. Do you feel like it makes me feel weird? I'll admit, I'm just like, fuck, dude, I got this huge hole. I'm like, man, if I visit a school that's heavy on leg locks, I'm like, I'm going to look like an idiot. Do you have that feeling, or do you just like, fuck it, I don't care?
No, I've accepted it. It's like I'm there to have fun, you know. Like again, like maybe if I was competing, I'd feel like that. But since like jiu-jitsu is for fun for me, and it's like I have fun in the gi, so I'm just gonna keep doing the gi. And then it's like I don't know, maybe I just like most people don't know. Most people in jiu-jitsu don't have a good understanding of stand up. So it's like, you know, I've dedicated a lot of my like life to judo and stand up. So it's like I might have a hole in the leg lock game, but you know, I make up for it because I have the stand up.
Because I could throw you across the room.
Yeah. So like, I feel like there's like, you're always gonna have a hole in something.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
So it's like I've just come to accept it. Like, you know, leg locks aren't my thing, and that's okay.
I'm okay. You're reminding me of that Saturday Night Live skit. He's just like, what is it? Do you remember that? Oh, you're old enough to remember, Bo. The guy that looks in the mirror and he's like, says his affirmations, like, and you're okay. And that's okay. You remember that skit? I forget. Yeah. I can't remember the name. It's the guy who became the senator in Minnesota. I forget his name. See, I'm horrible with names. Right, that's the guy that used to do the skit. He became a politician. Guy? No, you can be no. You're not Jesse Ventura. This guy became like a senator, and then he was the one that like.
I was about to be like, Jesse Ventura was on SNL. What the fuck?
Yeah, no. He probably was at some point, but he just says like, and that's okay. Like he does these affirmations, like it's okay to not do this thing. So yeah, I have made a conscious effort to again. I'm talking about it here. I don't go to my school and talk about it like, hey guys, I watched some toe videos. Like I'm not doing that. I'm just like, I'm going to add it to my arsenal. And, you know, if I'm learning it here, great. I'm not scared to go to my coach. Hey, you know, again, I'm not telling him like, hey, I've been studying these toe hold videos. I'll maybe ask him a question about like placement or, hey, would you do this? And that usually opens up to like, oh, I like to do it this way, or I do this thing. But yeah, I mean, for me, I'm gonna seek out the information and just do it on my own. And if you know, I want to understand it, and I want to more than anything too is I want to know how to get out of stuff like and recognize, oh shit, I'm in this position. What am I supposed to do? Again, once you blow out your knee, for me, it just changed the way I look at things, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, just got to be a little bit more
100%.
careful, and don't want to do that. It wasn't even the blowing out of the knee wasn't the worst part. It was being out of jiu-jitsu for 9 months. That was the sucky part. I, knock on wood, if I want to say I was lucky, I blew out my knee the day before I was going into quarantine for my job. So it was like right there at the beginning of COVID, like when every school was still open, gym was still open. A couple of weeks later, it was like everything was shut down, even though Florida, everybody kept on doing jiu-jitsu anyway. And then they kind of left everybody alone. But I blew my knee out, and I was going to be working from home. And then, it was like right at March, right at the beginning of COVID. That's when I blew out my knee. So if it had to happen, the beginning of COVID, fuck it, that's when it happened. So, but I remember that time. And the thing that I remember the most, I don't remember like, oh, my knee was hurting and I did this exercise and I did that. It was just like, oh, God, I just want to go to jiu-jitsu. Fuck, this sucks. I can't get this thing out. I even I invested in I did a lot of always had a punching bag at the house. So I bought this like a speed bag, like a reflex bag. A reflex bag was a really shitty one, but I would be able to like stand on my leg, kind of like keep it. I could stay up and then I would just like hit the bag just to get something out. But that's all I could do because my movement was really shitty. So, but I could stand there and just hit this thing and just, it's like the reflex bag is just going back and forth at you. So, like I did stuff like that, but I was miserable for those 9 months. It was just like, when am I going to get to do this?
Lockdown first hit, it sucked, man. Like it was like, especially in California, man, everything was shut down. You even put like plywood in front of the windows to try to like block out so we could still train. And then like the city was like, we catch you guys doing this, like we're going to fine you. So then they really shut it down. And then my judo coach, because I work for the university, train with the university, he just wanted the college kids to stay in shape, so he started doing Zoom workouts. Okay. I don't know if you ever did like Zoom workouts. So he was doing like high interval intensity training, like HIIT workouts on Zoom. Yeah. And he had like this, like he put like a TV behind him, and he had like a little clock, and it was like, all right, 30 seconds. And then he'd run you through a workout, which is great to keep you moving. But he's like, I feel you, man. He was like, fuck, I just want to get back on the mat and train.
What is going on with San Francisco? I mean, in the news, like it's like this craziness. Like the world, at least in San Francisco and parts of California, is like it's ending. The homeless population. What is?
Democrats.
You live on. Hold on. Let him in. Do you do jiu-jitsu in San Francisco? Do you actually live in San Fran?
So I'm on the outskirts. I am in San Francisco. Like I'm in San Francisco right now. That's where I live. But I'm on the outskirts of San Francisco, like more towards like I don't know if people know where Daly City is. Like I'm on the border. Yeah. I'm still in San Francisco, but I'm on the border. I feel like I love San Francisco because I don't live downtown. If I live downtown, I don't know if I'd like it.
Is it that bad?
It's kind of turning into like Skid Rowish in some parts, but like there's tents everywhere. Like my favorite place is Ralph Gracie, San Francisco, but it's in the Soma district, which isn't the best neighborhood. Like you literally have to look down on the floor and look for like needles or human shit, which is not the greatest thing to say, but it's just like kind of the reality. It's just, I just don't get it, man. I really don't get it. I really don't get what's happening to the city. Half the businesses are shut down. Everybody's on drugs. They're just like, it's just pretty crazy what's going on with the leadership here.
So what we're seeing on the news is really happening. It's
pretty accurate. But it's like, okay, the drug and the homeless problem is better, but gang violence is down, which is like there's like
they don't live there anymore.
Like when I was growing up in the city, there was a lot of gang activity in the city. Like actual like gang members. We're actually I think shutting down juvenile hall because kids are committing less crimes. And it's just like things like that, or they're downsizing juvenile hall because like crime isn't as rampant in the city in that aspect of like like gang member crime. But you have all this drug and homeless thing like problems going on, and it's like. I get the city's trying to help them. Like they give them like there's places that offer 3 free meals a day, but the free drug kits I don't get. Where it's like, oh yeah, get your clean needles or get your clean equipment here. It's like that part I don't really understand. Like they just like people don't want people using dirty needles and getting sick and shit. But it's like it doesn't seem like you're helping them out when like you can just go to any like clinic and get a bunch of needles to do your drugs. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Wow.
Pretty sad. To be honest,
I mean, that's just like replicated throughout California, right? I mean, all the major cities. I mean, it feels like, you You talked about going to Austin, Texas. I mean, how many people, at least in our world, famous people, the
it's
comedians,
not a little bit of
moved,
crazy. Not a little bit of
right?
craziness.
Well, I'm
It's
saying
like,
though that they've moved to Austin, right? They kind of right. We have all these like California people from California, Rogan, all his crew of comedians, everything that's going on out there, right? They all moved to Austin to get away from that, right? You know, it was so crazy. I mean, hearing them talk about it in different parts of California, how crazy it was. How was it out there at the B team? I mean, forget about the drug side of things, just that experience.
I didn't go to the B team. I went to. I love gi. So I went with a group of friends. A group of my friends. They went to do like a bunch of Danaher classes, or like the what do they call their class?
New Wave or
New Wave? Yeah, the New Wave. The New Wave classes.
Out of Gracie, right? Out of Henzo Gracie.
Henzo Gracie, Austin.
They're still, okay. We had one of the coaches, one of the owners of.
I love gi, so I would wake up at like 5:30 in the morning to take Nicholas Mergali's 6 a.m. class.
Wow.
6 a.m. or 7 a.m. I think it was like 6:30. Forgot what time it was.
Either one of those because I could never get up there.
Yeah, dude, so early. And like, you know, there was like a bunch of us. There was like five of us chilling in an Airbnb, all fighting to fucking get in one shower in the morning. And it's just like, so I would wake up early to go do that. And then I would travel. Like those guys mainly did at Henzo Gracie in the New Wave. I went to Tim Kennedy's school. That was fucking amazing. Gracie Humite to Cedar Park. I went to Gracie Humite to Austin. I tried to visit as many gi spots as I could in the area. I did go to one of Gary Tonen's classes with New Wave. But the time that I saw the B team guys is we went to 10th Planet Open Mat the 10th Planet in Austin. It's in the Warehouse District. The place is huge. The place is this massive. And then you walk in and you're like, holy shit, that's Haisam Rita. Holy shit, that's Nicky Rod. Holy shit, that's like, you know, there's a whole bunch of like top tier guys. And it's crazy how Austin has become this mecca of jiu-jitsu. I'm pretty sure COVID, pretty much just because of COVID, like how the things trickled out.
It was, if I remember, before COVID, like I'm a marketing guy and a lot of what we do is about helping people like get their Google map found more. And I remember speaking to somebody that had a jiu-jitsu academy in Austin. And when I did like jiu-jitsu Austin, Texas, it was so saturated already. Like there were just schools everywhere. Because even like New Wave is there. Yeah, New Wave is there. But they're training out of a Henzo Gracie, right? So like, the B team is like the newer one there. But a lot of those academies have been there for so long. It was already tremendously saturated. I guess in a good way. I mean, it was just like, you look on that, it was just like, Jiu-Jitsu Academy, like everyone was represented out there, which was, I guess it's kind of cool, so, Rogan going out there and these other guys going out there was like, they were just like really going into, I'm going to call it the belly of the beast, like in a bad way. They were just going out to places where there's just so much jiu-jitsu already, which I think is really cool. Like I thought South Florida was like that, but that's really saturated, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. And it was crazy to see like how many top level guys were just in one room, one open mat.
Yeah.
And it was just like, man.
Did you get to roll with some of those bigger names besides Nicky Rod?
Yeah, I rolled with Nicky Rod. I rolled with Haisam. We had a great, Nicky just fucked me up. So like I expected, I know he's a wrestler. I expected him to grab me and like drive through me, right?
Yeah.
He grabbed my legs. And when you're like, you hold a kid and you spin in a circle and the kid's legs are off their feet and you're like spinning them around. So he does that to himself. So he'll grab you and then he'll fling his body around. His legs are in the air and he just cyclones you to the floor with the energy. And it was just like, I've never felt anything like that, where he just gets a hold of you and he literally just spins himself around you. And then you're on the floor like, what the fuck happened? Then
I'm curious, did any of those guys know who you were? Like, hey, I know you from the, Nah.
I didn't. They didn't
tell you.
I did roll Haisam too, and he's a judo guy. He came up in judo in Japan. He's from he grew up in Japan a little bit. He speaks better Japanese than me, which is freaking crazy.
Yeah.
So I a lot of guys like they were pulling guard, but I was like, all right, let's stand up. I even let him know like I do judo. It'd be an honor if we could just do some stand up too. It was so sweaty. Like I got him towards the end and there's puddles everywhere, right? There's puddles everywhere because it's like a no-gi open mat. And we both hit a foot sweep and we both flew in the air. Yeah. Like, it was crazy. Like we both slipped. Like we both tried to foot sweep each other at the same time. And we both slipped and hit the floor. And we were just laughing. Like we were just both on our backs, just kind of laughing. And so it was like a great experience just to like have fun with those guys.
That's awesome, man. Do you think did you travel before like the Move of the Day stuff took off? Were you this same person? With this kind of traveling like that?
everywhere I travel, I bring my gi. So like back then I was doing now I'm doing a little more like inside the United States. I used to do a lot of international trips. Like when I went to China, I trained at Shanghai BJJ. When I went to Vietnam, I trained at a Lutte Livre school out there. So I always try to bring my gi wherever I go. It's like one of my favorite things to do is go and see what the local scene is doing in terms of jiu-jitsu. Yeah. So like that's always kind of been my vibe.
Do you plan ahead? Do you like very much plan ahead, or is it just like, okay, I'm here, let me grab my phone, see where there's a jiu-jitsu academy and just pick something? Or is it like
a little bit? I'll just check out, I'll check out the Google Maps and like see what my options are of like what the cities I'm traveling to. So like I said, I was in Cabo for my brother's birthday, and it was very lucky that I look up the schools and I'm a Ralph Gracie Black Belt, and then I see, oh, there's a Ralph Gracie in Cabo. I had no idea that even existed. Oh. And so like going there and seeing like all the kids in Ralph Gracie gis, and I was just like, it's a fairly new school. It's only been around for a little bit. He was an NS Brotherhood affiliate, but when Leandro passed, like I guess the NS Brotherhood kind of had like a little like, I'm not a falling out, but like there was just no leadership. So he started, the guy who's running the academy, he started jiu-jitsu in Ralph Gracie, Argentina. And so he just asked his instructor like, hey, me and Leandro, like there's no, I don't know what to do with this school anymore. So what do you think? He's like, just open up a Ralph Gracie, and then they have the structure. We'll send you gis, things like that. So it was a little more structure. So it's a brand new, like it's been there for a little bit, but it's rebranded as Ralph Gracie. Okay. So it was a lot of white belts. It was like one purple belt, one blue belt. So I went there, and I think I was the first one from like Ralph Gracie headquarters to go visit. Yeah. And so like it was kind of like cool, like just to see like
they sent someone
usually
down.
I'm traveling. Yeah, usually I'm traveling, and it's just like, you know, it's just a random school. But this time was like the first time I traveled to a Ralph Gracie, so that was really special. But I think I even have like, show you a picture. This is one of the stickers from Shanghai BJJ. And it's like this little army dude with that's their logo.
Yeah.
And it's just like cool to get little stuff like that and just see how they're living, you know? Like I love traveling.
I haven't done that. I know like my wife would get annoyed if I like you just hit your wire again. Got a little blurry. Good. My wife has never been like a huge supporter of my jiu-jitsu. She just kind of like, okay, I guess I gotta I get it. You love it. So go ahead, go do it. It's no big deal. I'll finally like be okay. But there's no way that I could ever. I've never brought my gi on vacation ever. Anywhere we've traveled where it was just not even an option. So I'm not even looking for places. I might like be in the car and be like, oh shit, man, I could have brought my gi because there's a jiu-jitsu academy right here where we're staying. But I've never, you know, I love going on cruises. I got married on a cruise. We love going on cruises. I got married on a cruise. I want the next time that they're like there's a cruise and it's like open to anyone, I'm going on like that would be amazing for me. Now I probably wouldn't like eat and drink as much because I know I'm going to want to train, right? You know,
or more maybe. You never know.
Or maybe, yeah, right. I go to like open mat the first day and not go ever again. But I want to keep an eye out for something like that. I know my wife and I had talked about it in the past, and she's like, "Oh, I would, yeah." Like I was like, "Would you go on it?" She's like, "If it's a cruise and I get to do my own thing, I would go." But yeah, like I know like the Gracies do it, or even like these camps that you go away. I just don't know anybody like in my like affiliations with the people that I know that have done it. It's always like usually like the Gracies or like a bigger academy that we're not affiliated with, but they're usually open to having people come. Mm-hmm. Like I'm going to keep my eye open for that kind of stuff where it's like I'm traveling for jiu-jitsu. I'm going there to do jiu-jitsu. Like we're going out to my team there are a couple of girls. We have probably more girl competitors, adult women competitors that are like blue belts and like really getting into the scene. Our coach Sophia Amarante, one of the my coach's wife, who's a coach there and a world champ herself, she's been training like the girls and like they've become killers. So they're going to Vegas. Is it that world World Masters? Masters Worlds in Vegas at the end of August. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to compete, but I'm going to go out for that trip because there's a couple of guys going. Like the girls are like, oh, they always go off on like a girls trip from that. But there's like one of the husbands and a friend of his. We're going. I'm like, I'm coming with you to Vegas. So I'm going to go to Vegas. I don't know if we'll bring our gis and what kind of training there'll be after a weekend of competition. A lot of times the gyms are going to be closed. Like everybody's like, well, we're at the competition. I'm sure somebody's going to be doing jiu-jitsu. We'll probably bring our gis with us. But that's like my first time. Like this is crazy. I've never done jiu-jitsu outside of Florida. I've barely done jiu-jitsu.
No,
I don't think I've done jiu-jitsu outside of South Florida. I've only been to like a handful of gyms. I've always just been at my gym, not as a younger jiu-jitsu practitioner, like don't want to be the crayonch and go train at all these. Until I started doing the podcast, and I was a purple belt, and I was like forced to we were supposed to record in my school. There was a documentary coming, a filmmaker coming, and then the AC went out in the gym, so we went to another academy. So that once I went there for that. Then I started going to that school a little bit, and it was a buddy of mine. And I started going there, and then that opened the door for me a little bit to train without feeling weird. Like my coach, he was okay with it. He actually told me, he's like, yeah, you can go over there, don't worry. And once I got that first, then I was just like, okay, I could go here. That's still probably one of the only gyms that I've been to, other than mine, the ones that I was in. When I was a white and blue belt, we used to travel to, the owner had a friend who had a gym, so we went to their academy one weekend, and they would come to ours. So that was our open mat. They all came here. We went to them back and forth every Saturday. But yeah, I've never traveled. Miguel, who you haven't met, every time he goes to travel somewhere, he brings his gi. And he has trained with more guests that had on the show, and then he's been in their area, and he's been he goes and seeks them out and says, hey, I'm going to be there. Let's train. He's had them come in and train with him, or gone to them, and I'm like, motherfucker, I'm like, where was I? Come on, man. But I've never been able to do that. I'm going to make it a point to do that more. And if I travel, again, I think I'm going to purposely travel for jiu-jitsu as opposed to I'm traveling here and I will bring my gi. I'm going to make a point to travel for jiu-jitsu, make it part of what I do. So now I'm able to, and
especially if you're going to Masters Worlds, they have a thing called Jiu-Jitsu Con, which is like a convention within the tournament. Like there's
I did see that.
Yeah, they have seminars going on all the time. So I did 3 seminars last Jiu-Jitsu Con, gi seminars, and it's in during the tournaments happening in the background, and then you're just doing a seminar. I had Robert Drysdale, Leo Vera did a seminar. Man, fantastic stuff.
Oh boy, so I need to get in there and probably get some tickets and stuff. Gotta
you just sign up in the morning.
You could just do it
when you walk in. Right when you walk in the tournament, you just go to the seminar booth and then you just write your name down.
You gonna be out there by any chance?
No, this year I'm not. I love that tournament. I wish I could. I'm gonna be in New York those dates. My friends are doing a friend trip to New York.
That's how much I've traveled and how much I know about IBJJF that I didn't really truly understand that was going to be happening. I was like, I'm going out there. I was going out there because it's Vegas, and I'm like, I get to go to Vegas to just hang out, walk around with my Jiu-Jitsu Dummies T-shirt on and promote a little bit, maybe ask a famous person on it. That's where my mindset was. But and then I'll probably go train. But I didn't realize it was like that. That's good to know.
Yeah. So I bring my gi. I train at different places, but I really love the seminars. I love the seminars just to get a different. It's always some world champ doing a seminar. Leo Vera's seminar was insane.
Yeah.
Amy Campos did a seminar, insane. This top level athletes giving their take on the same problems that we face. So it's just that I really enjoyed the seminars, and they're free. I mean, with your ticket, you just pay $15, $20 to get in the place.
Okay, and, so once you're in for the event, then you can.
Yeah.
Okay,
the seminars.
You're not paying extra for their seminars.
No.
Okay. All right. Even better. That's fucking dope.
I love it. So you're gonna have a great time. And plus, everyone in Vegas at that time is everyone's doing jiu-jitsu. So it's you'll walk around the strip and you'll see all these shirts. You'll see the ears. You'll be like, oh, my people.
Yeah, man. Again, I have it. I'll tell you off camera what's going on and why I'll be able to do that more. But all right. Listen, we've been on for an hour and 40. I don't want to keep you all day. Plus, I got to get back to the office. So
yeah, for sure.
Do you want to give anybody a shout out?
I was gonna ask you one question before you take off.
Shoot, go.
Who you got? Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk?
It's funny. I asked this to our last guest last week.
Can I tell you why I said Musk? Because they've been saying Zuckerberg is really fit and Musk is built like a 1950s fridge. And I say, have you ever had a 1950s fridge fall on you?
So this is my take. My take is right now, I think it goes to the person that's been training the longest. Zuckerberg seems to have been training the longest. I think Elon just really started training, in the last 6 months? Not that he couldn't advance, not that he couldn't use his size. So now is it just jiu-jitsu? Okay, because of his weight, he looks like he's a lot bigger. He looks like he's probably floating around 250. I don't know how tall he is. So he looks like a big dude. So Zuckerberg looks a lot thinner and smaller. What is Zuck under? Maybe what is he, like 175 to maybe 190 range? This other guy looks like it's 250. I think you get a little bit of advantage with the weight. So if it's just jiu-jitsu and it's ground, I think Zuckerberg has a problem. And I think maybe if Elon gets more experience before this, I don't know if it's an imaginary fight happens. Now, if it's MMA, now it's a different story. Again, Zuck has been in training a lot longer, from what I understand. He's been throwing hands. I can't, he looks like a white belt training this stuff. People have been like, oh my God, he's doing so great. I'm like, man, that looks so sloppy and messy. That's me. I think they both have a long way to go. But if it's standing, again, Elon does. I've never heard of Elon training before. We saw him in a picture the other day with like Danaher in a white belt. I mean, if you just started, you got to fucking train. You got to live this before you're going to.
What a good choice for trainer, Danaher versus Musk.
I kind of think that I would say not because of their politics or anything else. I would just say pure experience. I would give it to Zuckerberg, jiu-jitsu and MMA, because he's been doing longer. What about you?
I feel the same way. I feel like youth. I think Zuckerberg's got some. He's younger than him, and he just seems like a more in shape. Yeah. I think the endurance is going to last. But they both, like, if they both really are serious about this and they're really training, it's crazy. Zuck's got Camarillo, Elon's got Danaher, so it's like they're learning. Whatever their foundation is like top level foundation. Yeah. So it's going to be crazy to see either way. But either way, it's going to be a big fight for charity. It's going to put a lot of eyes on our sport.
You think it's really going to happen? You're saying you really think it's going to happen?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be like real, but I bet some exhibition type of, they're probably going to go out there with smiles on and just like, I don't know. And then it probably, like you said, as you step on the gas, I'll step on the gas.
Yeah.
So.
I said this on the last episode. We brought this up with Stephen Williams, who's a Danaher Black Belt. He does he's like a big content creator now, but he's a Danaher Black Belt. And I said, this is from, what's the word? From, what's like a person who handles your press, from a PR perspective, a PR person, right? A public relations. Jesus, I'm always searching for words. From a public relations standpoint, from that person, if they both have a public relationship like representative, right? That person's got to be both of those people got to be shitting in their pants, because this is a nightmare scenario if they really fought and whoever loses. Now, Zuckerberg, I think with Facebook, it's just a lot bigger, and people already hate him, but they're still on his platforms. So I don't think he has a ton to lose. But just think about the memes and the videos and all the shit. They're already doing it now. You have a lot to lose. I think Elon has a ton to lose because, again, I'm a businessman. I'm a marketing guy. So from a marketing perspective and that PR perspective, with them launching Threads, with Zuck launching Threads, being a direct competitor to Twitter, if Elon lost in that forum in a ring, Twitter's going to go. My mind, Twitter goes down the tubes. Nah. Even Tesla gets like a little bit of a hit because all these other companies, right? But just listen, you would see a direct reflection in stock prices, like for the winner. The loser, it's going to go down because people are going to rip on him and just like look. Elon Musk took a hit of a fucking blunt on Rogan.
Nothing happened.
And his the stock there was all this hubbub. Yeah, the stock prices went down, right?
Yeah, but it just
right. That would happen again. And because there's this direct competition between Threads and Twitter right now, if he lost, people would just really kind of migrate. It's a portion of the population would just migrate over and be like, yeah, Zuck beat it, yeah, loser, right? Would just migrate over to Threads.
Zuck. If they like Elon, they totally hate Zuck. They would never go to Threads.
I don't know. My opinion is I think it's a PR nightmare for either side. Yeah. If you lose, just think about them. Do you see the fights last weekend with the girl that ran across the ring? Oh, she got dinged, and I think she was just looking to hold herself up. She ran across the ring. Do you know how many fucking different memes I've seen of that already? Think of that on a grant of a more famous person. Like, that looks
Perfect.
that would
That's
be
what they want.
crazy.
That's what they want.
I don't think that Elon is like a little bit more engaging with like crazy posts about him. I don't know that I've ever seen Zuckerberg like answer like a really crazy post. Until
oh my God.
This and I definitely, when Zuck did this, and maybe a PR person helped him do this, but I had a lot more respect for Zuckerberg when the Elon said something and then he replied with send location, which is
that was great. That was fucking great.
But that was from the Khabib did that with Conor, and that was just like, if he did that on his own, it was like good like MMA IQ, like he's really watching. And then he was at that UFC where they kind of closed down the Apex, and it was just like him and like the UFC staff. So like those little things, I was just like, props, nice fucking. That was like an epic response to that. To like feed off of something that two famous guys went back and forth on. That's my take. So that's where I'm at. No love lost for either one of them. I have no favorite. I don't care about their politics and all that bullshit.
That's because he's a CIA agent and he can.
Oh no!
As long as it doesn't like lose in like a weird like a one punch knockout, or they're running away from the fight, I think it would be okay. But like it definitely can. Like, man, I was just at the Worlds, and it was like, all right, this is the biggest jiu-jitsu gi tournament in the world. But it was just like, man, why is everybody so scared to pass or scared to play top? Or like, there's always like, depends on how they fight, you know? It's like, if they fight and they bring it, I think it'll be okay. But if they fight and they don't bring it, it's definitely going to be a PR nightmare.
Right. I mean, think about two white belts in your gym. And if you put them on the mat and it was just like, fight to the death, you know, right? We know how that looks. Shit, that looks like that till you're probably a blue belt. Yeah. And it looks really mad, right? It's like really mad. Yeah, like your technique could be so on point, but then you get in front of the class, and it's just like, you can't lose. Go get this guy. Submit this guy that's across. Right? We know how that looks, and it gets real sloppy. So you imagine two guys that don't really know. I saw Zuckerberg like flowing with like Lex Friedman and some. He doesn't. They try to make him look good. He didn't look so spectacular. Like, he's a white belt. He's still learning. So imagine like two white belts do. We know this. I'm always putting out spazzy white belt comments and little videos and, like just crazy shit, because that's just the known thing that you look spazzy, you look shitty. So just those two doing it. And then the pressure on top of that of like, shit, the loser gets fried. The loser has a lot to lose. I don't know. That's my take on it. So
yeah, no, 100%.
But listen, let me let you go. I got to go myself. You any shout outs? You want to say hello to anybody? Shout out your sponsors, things like that?
Shout out Shoyro. Shout out to anyone doing jiu-jitsu. Appreciate everyone listening. Appreciate all you guys. You guys make it happen. Leo Optics.
You said you're working with Leo Optics now too, right? You said?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, I love them. I bring these in. I put them right there. Put them back on. I go home. This is my favorite pair. These are actually the ones that I wear.
Hell yeah. The wood frames are amazing, man. So thanks, shout out to Leo Optics. If anyone wants a seminar, you can hit me up on Instagram, Yoshi_SF. Always looking for places to do seminars, so holla at me.
All right, brother. You know the drill. Don't hang up because we're going to come take some pictures. But thank you so much for doing this again, man. Appreciate you having on. Always welcome. And we got to get you to Florida, man. I'd love to do one with you here, man. Maybe get like a little roundtable going, get some of my other training partners, have some fun with it. Before I let you, how's Kurt doing? How's everything?
Good. He's just got back from Colorado. So he's doing seminars. I'm gonna go train with him next week.
Oh, very cool.
Doing good, man.
All right, man. All right, so thank you very much. We'll put this out next week. I'll hit you up. All right, brother.
Peace.
Thank you to Feito IT and AV, specializing in commercial and residential automation, security cameras, CCTV, POS, and more. Check them out at feitoitav.com or call 305-428-2515 and let them know the dummy sent you. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at thebjjbox. The Jiu-Jitsu Dummies would like to congratulate Neutral Zone Clean on the release of their newest product, a healthy and pH-balanced bar soap that's perfect for anyone looking to take care of their skin. This soap is made with all natural ingredients that help nourish and restore your skin's natural barrier. It contains glycerin, which naturally attracts moisture to itself in the skin, leaving it feeling soft and hydrated. The new bar soap also contains a blend of olive, coconut, and castor oils and shea butter, which are rich in vitamins, nutrients, essential fatty acids, and antioxidants that help fight harmful bacteria. With tea tree and other natural ingredients, it also helps in the prevention of fungal infections. Not only is it effective, but it also leaves your skin feeling fresh and lightly scented. It's gentle enough for even the most sensitive skin, making it a perfect choice for the whole family. Be sure to check out their website, neutralzoneclean.com, for a range of all-natural products including sprays, wipes, and shower gels, and use code JJD for 15% off your order. Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
All right, man. Always cool having Yoshi on.
Very cool. Yeah. He's super smiley.
Never without a smile.
Never like not smiling.
Yeah, man. Great dude.
Happy
like
guy.
I said, open invitation for him to come on. I'd love to have him out here. It'd be really cool to do one in person with him.
Him and Kurt together were fun.
Yeah. Let's do some quick housekeeping. Really, we'll keep it short. Check us out at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies for all the ways to watch, listen, and support. Right, IG. We're on Thread now. Facebook, on TikTok and YouTube. It's Jiu-Jitsu Dummies Podcast. You can find us everywhere. My personal IG is Uncle Milty BJJ, so check me out. Shoot me a message. Bo?
At BAGWERKS on IG.
Lots of photography stuff. Let's tell him, give him Handy
video.
again. Give him Handy. We're gonna build up Handy.
Wisdom. Yeah, Handy Wisdom. Please follow and like and share.
What is it? There's an underscore in there, right?
At Handy_Wisdom.
Very cool. It's really funny, guys. Check this stuff out. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. Peace, love, Jiu-Jitsu.
No.
No, it's not the music.
No.